We are officially halfway through the 2025 season in Formula 1, 12 races out of 24. I know that it sounds mind-blowing that we're already halfway through the season, but you know what? Today we're doing something fun. Let's review every team's performance so far throughout the 2025 season and how well or how bad they're doing. Let's do it. What's up, guys? My name is Marcin. Welcome back to the channel. The way we're going to do this today is we're going to start from the bottom of the constructors and we're going to go all the way to the top, team by team, and I'm going to be reviewing each and how good or how bad they're doing. Starting from the very bottom, we have Alpine in 10th place with 19 points. Definitely not the best season for Alpine, a team that's kind of been like on a downward spiral for a few years now. Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto cannot save this team. They started this year with a lot of issues. Remember Jack Doohan, those first 5 races, and then they kicked him out. He crashed the car a couple of times. A driver that, in my opinion, didn't get enough of a chance to prove his potential. And now I think it's too late. I don't know if Jack Doohan is ever going to get another chance in Formula 1, to be honest. Then they introduced Franco Colapinto to the team, hoping for a big change because he had been somewhat having a good performance at Williams the year before. Definitely not bad for the car he's been given and the fact that he's a rookie, but definitely no Kimi Antonelli over here. And then we have Pierre Gasly, who's also been struggling a lot with this team. A driver who is honestly a pretty good driver as well, with a lot of experience by now. But unfortunately, the problem at Alpine seems to lie deeper inside the team and not really the drivers. Alpine is a team that, in my opinion, they should really focus on 2026 from now on because there's not much you can do. You're last all the way at the bottom, 10th place with 19 points. Just focus on next year with next regulations. You might be able to salvage a lot there. Next up, we got Haas, a team that has 29 points in 9th place on the constructor standings. The main problem that I see at Haas is that they never have a stable team. Remember, last year their drivers were Hülkenberg and Magnussen. This year we have Ocon and Behrman. Don't get me wrong, 2 very good drivers, with Ocon bringing all that experience and Ali Behrman probably one of the best rookies we've had in Formula 1 in a while. The problem is, once again, we had big changes in leadership at this team, and they're sitting 9th with 29 points. Not the best year for Haas. But the next one that's coming up, this one is quite surprising because next up we have Aston Martin with 36 points on 8th place. Aston Martin is a team that has the tools. It's just not working for them. They have Fernando Alonso, they have Adrian Newey, and they have money. Aston Martin is a team that when they joined Formula 1, they were doing very well and they look very promising. And I've been telling people who have high hopes for Cadillac, watch out for this because hopefully they don't flop like Aston Martin did. Because Aston Martin is a pure proof that money doesn't mean good team. There's a lot that's involved in it because Aston Martin has money. They have a 2-time champion as one of their drivers, one of the greatest drivers of all time. I'm talking about Fernando Alonso. Yes, they also have Lance Stroll, but just ignore that for a second. And then they have Adrian Newey, perhaps the best engineer of all time, who created all the beasts we've seen in Formula 1, all the greatest cars of all time, all the way back to the Ayrton Senna times. Now, here's the thing with Adrian Newey, and I've been saying it from the beginning. I don't think that Adrian Newey's working much on this year's car at Aston Martin. I think that Aston Martin is a team that's putting the vast majority of their chips into 2026, which is a smart move, and I think they should. And if they do so, like I said, with a good driver lineup, let's see if they can secure somebody else now. There's talks about replacing Lance Stroll. Let's see how true that is. I'm not quite sure about that because he's the son of the owner. But besides that, this is a team that could have lots of potential going into 2026 if they play their cards right. So far this year, obviously hasn't been their year. Fernando Alonso, a driver who's been struggling to score points and constantly complaining about it, rightfully so, saying he is the unluckiest driver of all time. Next up in 7th place, we have Racing Bulls with 36 points. Tied with Aston Martin. This is a team that started really well at the beginning of the season. Remember how good they were doing? And a team that's slowly going to fall apart, unfortunately, because they've been gutted once again from the big Red Bull team. A team that definitely outperformed my expectations, especially earlier in the season, with one of the best rookies, in my opinion, the second best rookie we've had this year, Isaac Hadjar, right after Kimi Antonelli. A big surprise for me, for example, I expected a lot more out of Ali Behrman, who is a very good driver, but I think Isaac Hadjar this year has definitely outperformed Ali Behrman. Then we started this team with Yuki Tsunoda at the beginning of the year and Isaac Hadjar, and then the driver swap started. Liam Lawson lost his place at Red Bull, the main Red Bull. They swapped him with Yuki, just like the Jack Doohan and Franco Colapinto situation. Yuki seems to be struggling now at the main Red Bull, just like everyone does if you're the second driver at Red Bull. Liam Lawson seems to be doing slightly better than he was doing at the main team at Racing Bulls, but now they lost their team principal to Red Bull because they fired Christian Horner. So unfortunately, even though this is a team that always has potential, they're always used as Red Bull's kindergarten, and they go there and they farm talent and they just gut them and they bring them to the main team, which is completely understandable, but it sucks for them. It sucks for Racing Bulls. Next up, we have Sauber, a team that has 41 points, 6th on the driver standings. Insanely good performance this year based on 2 things. One of them is being that last year they were the worst team by far, very bad. that really struggled to score any points. At least this year, they managed to secure one of the best rookie talents that we have. I'm talking about Gabriel Bortoleto and also Nico Hülkenberg, who provides all that experience, secures some points, and finally got his first podium in Formula One. Now, the second problem with Sauber is that they're a placeholder team. Sauber is a team that's turning into Audi next year. So the truth of the matter is that I expected this team to be dead last once again this year. Looking at them right now, they're almost halfway through the standings. They could end up a little higher because they're getting better as the season progresses. In my books, this is an outstanding performance by Sauber this year so far. A team that's truly just being built for 2026. And so far in 2025, they went from 10th to 6th in 1 year. Next up, we have Williams in 5th place with 59 points. Williams, outside of the top 4, I think has the best driver lineup, very well balanced. I'm talking about Carlos Sainz and Albon, both with lots of experience and good talent, good racecraft. A team that looked very promising at the beginning of the year, definitely outperforming Ferrari, and then later on kind of settled down to where they kind of truly belong. Remember that Williams was a team that was truly struggling in 2024. Remember all the Logan Sargent memes. Remember how bad this team was doing, constantly crashing and wasting money and competing with Sauber for dead last on the standings. And seeing them this year 5th on the standings, 59 points, with James Vowles at the helm of this team, with Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz as the 2 drivers. What else can you say? They're doing a great job. Definitely outstanding performance in my books from Williams this year. Nothing more to say. They're doing a great job. Next up, we got the biggest surprise that you could probably tell a person 2-3 years ago if you could go back in a time machine, because Red Bull Racing is 4th in the driver standings with 172 points. A team that's been so dominant for the past decade, with Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel and Christian Horner at the helm of this team, who just got fired from Red Bull. And as we were mentioning before, they also lost Adrian Newey to Aston Martin. A team that's truly going on a downward spiral. I don't know what's going on internally at Red Bull, but things need to change radically at this team. I don't think that all these changes that they're implementing are really going to do a lot. And if they do, it's going to take a while. This is a team that it's too late. You just can't salvage all of a sudden. It's kind of sad because this is a dynasty team with Max Verstappen, who most of the rumors and proof that we have is that they are very likely to lose him. He just met with Toto Wolff. You can watch my previous video on this in Sardinia, Italy, talking about contract negotiations. So we know for sure that these negotiations with Mercedes are happening. All it takes is for them to offer Max a really good deal, and then Max might take it and go to Mercedes. What happens then? Red Bull falls apart. It's going to take them another 10 years to rebuild, just like it happened with Mercedes or Ferrari or anyone else. If you're a Red Bull fan or you're a newer fan of Formula One, this is just a natural cycle of Formula One. Do not panic. And since we're talking about the Silver Arrows, in 3rd place we got Mercedes, a team that's been slowly rebuilding once again. They have the future of Formula One with Kimi Antonelli. There's rumors they may replace George Russell, but even if they don't, George Russell is a very good driver, the most consistent driver in Formula One. I always say this. They may not be the 2 best drivers in Formula One right now, but they're absolutely consistent. They're there for the points. Look at how many points they have, 210, for a team that doesn't have as much experience compared to other teams. I'm talking about the drivers, not the team alone. And definitely great success. And if I have to attribute this to someone, I am attributing this to Toto Wolff. Whether you like the guy or not, his leadership at Mercedes has been stellar. Toto Wolff, just like Christian Horner, is one of these iconic team principals who are going to go down in Formula One history. Not much more to say about Mercedes. They're slowly rebuilding, doing a great job, and looking very promising for 2026. Most of the rumors I've heard about development for 2026 with the new regulations always say that Mercedes will have the strongest car going into 2026, which is not surprising. Next up, we have my team, Ferrari. Ferrari is a team that's the constant number 2. It's been the number 2 for years now. Second on the driver standings with 222 points. Beyond the memes, not the greatest rookie season at Ferrari for Lewis Hamilton like we expected. I think a lot of us, especially delusional Ferrari fans like myself, expected him to perform a lot better at Ferrari. I think it's because we always ignore how every other great champion tends to fail at Ferrari. Every time they go there, Ferrari just crushes their dreams. But besides that, if we look at points wise alone, 222, not too bad. As long as you don't compare these other teams to McLaren, they're up there in the pack. Now, when we look at McLaren, you'll see because they have more than double the points of what Ferrari has in second place. But besides that, Ferrari is a team that looked very promising going into 2025. Definitely didn't deliver on that, but at least they're not like last. They're in second place. So not too bad, not too good. As a Ferrari fan, I kind of expect this now. I've been a Ferrari fan for 24 years, and it's been a while since we won a championship. So even though it's sad, I'll take a second place. It's not too bad. Now in first place with 460 points, more than double what the second one has. We're talking about the team that stole all of the headlines this year, McLaren, with that duo Oscar Piastri Piastri and Lando Norris. But the other duo that I think it's even more important at this team is Zach Brown and Andrea Stella. Let's start with them. McLaren is a team that was struggling for the past decade, big time. Historically, one of the best teams of all time, with names like Ayrton Senna or Alan Prost or Lewis Hamilton. In the past decade, they were struggling to get to the middle of the pack. Well, history has changed and McLaren has resurrected, and it's all thanks to Zach Brown and Andrea Stella. Of course, the drivers do have a big role in this, but leadership at this team really changed everything. A team that definitely has been outperforming all of our expectations, definitely dominating everyone else. The rivalry between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri is very interesting and very entertaining to watch as a fan. I imagine if you're a McLaren fan, it can be nerve-wracking, especially when they hit each other and papaya rules. But in general, as a spectator, I don't have much to say other than stellar job by McLaren, their drivers, and their leadership this year. We'll see how it turns out into 2026 because we're going to have new regulations in a brand new car. Let's see if these standings remain the same or shift a lot. My prediction is that we're going to have big changes, and I don't know if McLaren is going to be able to continue this dynasty that they're building little by little. Now, I have no doubts that McLaren will win the constructors, but my question for you is, who out of their two drivers, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, will be champion by the end of this year? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, I'll be reading all of your comments and answering. These are my thoughts so far into 2025. Let me know yours down below. And as always, you can click right here to subscribe to this channel, and you can click right here to watch the next video that I created just for you. As always, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate all the support and the great messages that you guys send me all the time, and I'll see you in the next video.